You, of course, are listening to the MHA podcast. Why in the world would you play Isaiah McKenzie over your third-round pick, T. Higgins? Why? I like any quarterback that can make Will Fuller look good.
I love it. I think he's a top 20 receiver.
I mean, he is the Jamar Chase whisperer.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, my God.
You know, everybody loves Lamar Jackson.
Hated it.
I trust Derek Carr.
Come on. For real?
I know why you did. It's because you're crazy.
It's still the week and the games aren't even over yet. It's great. It's fantastic.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic.
Patrick Mahomes. Looks so good. Kyle Pitts was bad.
It's not my shebang. Justin Jefferson.
So good.
We could call him Russell Wilson if you want.
Ooh. Well done, sir. That is good stuff. All of those guys have more fantasy points than Tom Brady. I'm laughing, but I'm crying at the same time. It's terrible. What is up, MHA owners? It's time to reflect on week 9 of the NFL fantasy season. And it's really kind of turning into football weather outside as we are now in the early stages of November. Leaves are changing color. It's colder outside. Thanksgiving is just a few weeks away. Football is in full throttle. Gentlemen, Mikey Renault, Todd Diamond, I'm Eric Lansing. How you guys doing tonight? Tuesday night.
Fantastic. Feeling good.
Of course you are.
Yes, I am. I really
I
am.
bet you're great.
Oh, I got a pulse. It's great. It's great.
A giant killer, if you will, for Todd Diamond this week.
Yeah.
All right. Well done. Mikey, how are you doing here on November 7th?
I'm okay. I could be
Right?
better. Yeah, I'm fine. You know,
Fine.
you two, I'm proud of you guys getting wins, getting your season back in shape. I'm not happy to be 5-4. I'll just say that.
I am thrilled to be 4-5.
Yes.
Thrilled. Over the moon for 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good to have you guys on here. We'll talk a lot about what took place this past week. Of course, some news. How about some MHA trivia? And of course, we'll talk about next week's schedule. But first, of course, the news.
I don't understand what the news is. It's just like, hey, here's a bunch of you can't fix that happened that was horrible.
And there is a lot of news, so I'll try to get through this quickly. If you guys want to say something, just interrupt me. Giants quarterback Daniel Jones came back a bit too early, came back against the Raiders and tore his ACL, ending his season. So the Giants offense was in the toilet already. It's going to get worse with Tommy DeVito and the rest of that squad. Oh boy.
It sounds like a name of it. Sounds like a mobster name. Hey, DeVito. Hey, I'm over here.
Yeah, this is where the mobsters lose. This is Godfather 3, I think.
Okay.
Kyler Murray will get his first start of the 2023 season versus the Atlanta Falcons. Mikey, you still have Kyler Murray?
I still have Kyler Murray.
Are you starting him this week?
I doubt it.
Okay, just curious. More quarterback news. Josh Dobbs will get his first start as a Viking after his amazing performance last Sunday. How cool was that? Dobbs was picked up, I don't know, Tuesday or Wednesday. Didn't start the game. Jaron Allen, I think his name was, gets hurt. I didn't see it. Mikey saw it. Got hurt, I think, on the first drive. And then Dobbs comes in, struggles a little bit, and then comes around and brings the Vikings all the way back. So pretty cool to see that. How about some Bears news? Justin Fields was listed as limited during Monday's walkthrough. He's been out for a few weeks. What?
Wait,
what did I say?
Isn't that how he is always listed?
He's always listed as limited? Look, I'm just reading the news, Miguel, all right? I mean, I'm sure the Justin Fields owner, who I believe, who owns him? Is it Cooper's Cousins?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he has Justin Fields, and he's running around with Derek Carr. Maybe he's excited to have his boy Justin Fields back.
I'm just giving you crap. You know how much.
I know. You love Justin Fields. He's your favorite. He's been dealing with a right thumb issue. Hoping to give a right thumb up this week. Well, that was bad. I'll keep going. More Bears news. Khalil Herbert practiced in full after being out for multiple weeks due to an ankle injury. 2 days in a row he's been full, so he's probably going to play this week. Something yours truly doesn't want to hear as the Joe Burrow owner, but Jamar Chase dealing with a back injury that apparently got worse during the Sunday night affair and could be limited over the next few weeks. More bad news for me. Christian Watson left his game early against the Rams due to concussion. Dude's always hurt. You guys remember Sammy Watkins? Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I know you guys do.
Yeah.
We all do. He apparently worked out for the Colts on Monday. I haven't heard anything about signing unless you guys saw something, but hey, Sammy Watkins in the news. Lion Rip running back Devon Achane appears to be on track and may play this weekend after being out for multiple weeks. But bad news on the other side for Lion Rip. His tight end, Dallas Goedert, fractured his arm after making a catch against the Cowboys. Well, he was put on, I believe he was put on the IL, was going to miss at least 4 weeks. Of course, we talked about tight ends, but we'll talk more about tight ends after watching in week 9. How about more injuries for Lion Rip as Cam Akers tore his Achilles? Oh, my. And he will miss the rest of the season. How about some breaking news? Carson Wentz signs with the Rams. All right. Carson Wentz on an NFL team. Rush out and grab him this week, gentlemen. And how about more breaking news? Here's another blast from the past. Martavius Bryant signs with the Cowboys. All right.
Hey, man.
Cowboys. Bryant last played for the Raiders in 2018. He in his NFL career, 17 touchdowns, over 2,100 yards receiving in 44 games. He was recently reinstated by the NFL after violating yet another substance abuse violation, and did so lastly during that 2018 season. He was drafted in 2014 by the Steelers. Are we racing out to pick up Mr. Bryant for the Cowboys?
No, but a Butterfinger, favorite before he, decided to start taking drugs. Yeah, cool.
How about you, Miguel? Bryant sound exciting? I mean, 17 touchdowns in 44 games isn't bad.
I mean, he can't be worse than Brandon Cooks. Am I right?
Oh, snap.
I won this week, so you know what? That doesn't hurt.
Hey, I'm not taking a shot at you. I'm taking a shot at Brandon Cooks.
Well, Brandon Cooks is not going to be in my team for much longer. So yes.
Here we go. Yep. Yeah, because let's just keep Demario Davis for whatever reason. But yeah. Any other news that I missed, gentlemen?
I won this week, so it still doesn't hurt.
Well, that's this week.
No, but I wanted
know what's going to happen next week.
I wanted to make a correction.
Please.
Because Devon Achane won't play this week because they're on a bye.
Oh, okay. Well done.
So
there you go.
Another guy Aaron won't have against.
Yeah, thank God. That's who I'm playing this week. So, all right, good news for yours truly. Okay, well, if you guys have nothing else to say, let's get into some MHA trivia.
Woo!
It's time to play the game. Time to play the game.
All right, let's do this thing. Week 9 was the week of the tight end, wasn't it, Miguel?
Oh, yeah. Tight end day. All day.
Tight end day. For as much crap as we give the position, it came out big time here in week 9. In fact, we had 15 tight ends reach double figures and 12 of them who scored touchdowns. So, guess what we're going to talk about on MHA Trivia? That's right, tight ends. All right, so pretty simple game this week. 15 tight ends reach 10 or more points. So you guys are going to name them, and whoever gets the 5 first wins. Got it? Sound good?
Cool.
And no cheating. I'm looking at you, Todd. No cheating. I know I can definitely tell you cheat all the time because you always win.
Yeah.
We'll start with you, Todd. Can you name a tight end that scored 10 or more points in week 9?
Well, one on my bench I know was Dalton Schultz, 20 points.
You got that right. Oh, man. Dalton Schultz, in fact, was one of 3 that scored 20 points. Well done. Glad I gave him to you and you didn't play him. But that's okay. You won. Njoku did well. You get a point. Back to you. Oh, let's go over to Mikey now. 1 off the board, 14 more to go. Who do you got?
I'll go with the tight end I played. The other Dalton Kincaid.
Dalton Kincaid. That is correct. Kincaid after Knox on the IL, stepping up and did a lot more than Gabe Davis did. I'll tell you that. Oof, goodness. We'll talk about the duds later on. Okay, back to you, Todd. It's 1-1. Give me a tight end. Scored 10 or more points in week 9.
Well, another tight end on my team I play, David Njoku, 11 points.
That is correct. Finally, a tight end steps up for Todd. He had 11 points. Back to you, Mikey. It's 2-1 in favor of Todd Diamond.
Okay, I'm going to go with a tight end that I played in another league, Cade Otton.
Cade Otton. That's a blast from the past. And you're correct. And Mikey picked him up, I think, that morning. Is that correct? On Sunday morning,
Yeah.
I think I saw the transaction. Is that right?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. Atta boy. Well done. Pick up and 2 touchdowns. That's the witchery in Mikey's game for sure. 2-2 the score. Back to you, Todd.
Jason Ferguson.
Who's this?
Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, there you go. Jake Ferguson racked up the point total. He was a big reason why Dak had a big day today. 7 catches, 91 yards, and a touchdown. Back to you. You guys are off to a great start. Good job. It's 3-2. Mikey, you have a chance to tie it up.
Seems like if I just name one, it should.
Yeah, maybe. There's a lot of them. 15's a lot.
Yeah. I'll go with TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson, huh? With their backup quarterback over there? Dobbs, or the third string? Keep hitting the darn wrong button. There we go. Yeah, you're correct. He ended up with exactly 10 points. So good job there, Miguel. 3-3. Let's go back to Todd. Who you got for me on this tight end MHA trivia question?
Cole Kmet.
Cole Kmet. Let me see. Yeah, he did 2 touchdowns. Kind of the biggest scorer for Cooper's Cousins in week 9. He was second. He actually was tied for second. He also had 20 points. All right, Mikey. He's up 4-3. Got to find one here to keep the game. Well, to tie it up.
I don't know why I didn't remember, but the dude that killed me in both leagues was Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews from the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, he did. He didn't have a touchdown, but he had 9 catches. So in PPR, he flourished. We are tied 4-4. Todd, you have a chance to win MHA trivia if you can get one here. Tied in with 10 or more points. I believe in you, Todd.
I know.
To win MHA trivia on this week of tight ends.
It's a week of tight ends. Wow. Go with
I don't know. Todd's running out of...
Luke Musgrave.
You mean that guy that you dropped not too long ago? You think he had 10 or more points? Todd, you win MHA trivia.
Woo! Yeah.
How is that fair?
Well, because Todd never wins. Like, I should give you the opportunity. But he didn't mess up, so we're going to give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys didn't say Travis Kelce. But he didn't have 10 or more points. He only had 3. And how come you guys didn't mention my tight end, who led all tight ends with 22? Taysom Hill.
He's not really a tight end.
Oh, man. That's just bitterness. That's what that is. Just going through the rest of the names real quick here. You guys got the top 5. I'm impressed. Jonnu Smith had 16. Juwan Johnson, the other New Orleans tight end, he had 12. Hunter Henry, who I played against, who was picked up that morning, ends up scoring a touchdown. And how about Drew Sample? What team does Drew Sample play for, guys?
Plays for the Bengals. Now give me my
very
point.
good. What's that?
I said, now give me my point.
Give me your point. Oh, no, I'm sorry. And the last one is Irv Smith Jr., who plays for who, Miguel?
Plays for the Bengals. Now I
Plays
win.
for the Bengals. Who needs Jamar Chase when you have 2 amazing Cincinnati tight ends? Well, Todd, congratulations. Sorry, Mikey. He didn't mess up. He gets the win. Yeah. You say good job, Todd. Oh,
I
come
find
on.
I find flaws in your game.
No, come on. Let me have this.
Oh, that's well. Don't blame me. Don't blame Todd.
I said your game, not Todd.
Well, you say good job, Todd.
Yeah.
You congratulate Todd.
Come on, Mikey. Come on. You know you want to say it.
I'll give him the. All right, I'm going to go through the week 9 recap, and Mikey can think of what he's going to say. All right, let's get into it. After taking down the number 1 team last week, could the Butterfingers take down the number 1 team from this week in Cooper's Cousins? He didn't have Brock Purdy or Christian McCaffrey, but he had his one true love in Aaron Jones, who scored 16 points, the most since way back in week 1. His most recent trade acquisition in Najee Harris reached double figures for the second time this year. And how about 16 points from Baltimore's defense, who made Geno Smith look quite pedestrian? While Dylan's squad got a massive 20-point outing from tight end Cole Kmet, a mere 6-point day from Jamar Chase, and a big fat 0 from Gabe Davis was too much to overcome in a 127-106 Butterfingers win. Cooper's Cousins were without Travis Etienne, James Conner, and Deebo Samuel. That's 2 straight wins for the Butterfingers, who improve to 3-5-1, while Cooper's Cousins falls to 5-2-2 and falls to second place. I do have to apologize to Mikey because I was just like, hey, how about that Gabe Davis last week? And he puts up a big fat 0. So my mistake, Todd, or Miguel. The hottest team in the league just might be those Lemonheads, who have reeled off 3 straight wins. This week, they took down the defending champs and did so despite an unbelievable 81-point output from Texans rookie QB CJ Stroud. 81 points, 30 completions, 5 passing touchdowns, and now an NFL rookie record of 470 pass yards. Stroud had 28 total points 1 week ago against Carolina and somehow went bonkers. He hadn't had a single game over 44 all season, but then puts up a whopping 81. But against those Lemon, the Gonzo Cats also started things off with a nice 17-point output from Derrick Henry on Thursday night. That was 98 total points between those 2 players. And then another rookie shined on Sunday. Actually, he's not a rookie. Is Rachaad White a rookie?
No.
Second year, right?
No, yeah, second year.
Second year. So then Rachaad White went bananas, 25 points. Man, I thought it was done after 25 points from Rachaad White. Of course, on top of the other 2 guys. But it was not. Reached an addition. Taysom Hill at tight end proved to be fruitful, 22 points. How about Josh Jacobs, who scored 2 first-half touchdowns against the Giants for a total of 21 points. And a last-second change on defense also proved big, as the Raiders' defense played inspired football after their coaching change, piling up 8 sacks toward 19 points. And then Joe Burrow added 56 of his own. And the Lemonheads come all the way back to win a wild one, 174-161. Lemonheads now 4-5. Gonzo Cats continue to struggle, falling to 2-7. I feel bad for Pollen a little, because you have a good Thursday night from your running back, your first round pick, and then you get that crazy performance, 81 points. I can't go back and look and see. I don't know if Mikey has this somewhere, but to go back and look and find those 80 pointers, and how many of those would actually be losses in most cases. But tough luck for David Pollen. Continuing on, let's mosey on over to the Chad Powers fan club, who took on the NWA. Not a lot of big-time performances in this one, minus a 62-point effort from Dak Prescott, who tallied 29 completions, 3 passing touchdowns for Miles' team. They also got 15 from Joe Mixon, who caught 5 passes and fell in the end zone. The NWA got a kind of a mortal 46 points from Jalen Hurts, who looked like he was playing hurt on that Sunday afternoon. Austin Eckler had his best day since week 1, while Jonathan Taylor managed his 3rd straight week in double figures, but 2 points from Buffalo's defense, 4 by his kicker, and a couple of 6s. Wasn't enough to take the win in week 9. Chad Powers wins by a final of 127-117. Chad Powers now 6-3 in 3rd place. NWA 3-6, who have now dropped 4 in a row. How about those hot tamales? They battled notorious CUP in week 9. A couple of high-scoring teams battling tooth and nail. This was kind of a Sunday morning nightmare for Mikey. After, if you're not counting the 7:30 game, just watching the game with Miguel, it was touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. In those 11 o'clock games, Chris Olave, 14 points. Well, Brian Robinson, he scored a touchdown for 11 total points. Gus Edwards had 2 touchdowns. And even Amari Cooper, who hadn't scored since week 3, kind of got a lucky deflection that ended up in the end zone for a touchdown for the Browns wide receiver. And, of course, A.J. Brown does A.J. Brown things. The Hot Tamales had another solid outing from Raheem Mostert, who turned a bad first half into a good second half for 14 points. How about Cleveland's defense? Turned it up against that sad Cardinals offense and piled up 25 points. They also got 30 total points from Dalton Kincaid and Stephon Diggs to make it manageable heading into the Monday night game. But his Chargers stack of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen didn't really go so well, just 33 total points. Tamales fall to CUP 151 to 124. Mikey falls to 5-4, as he mentioned, and Quayne improves to 5-4. The last two matchups came down to the Monday night game, and we'll start with the Belt Sanders who took on Lion Rip. Belt Sanders got a nice 52 from Josh Allen, but not much outside of that. A less than average outing from Tyreek Hill at 9 points, just 7 from DeAndre Swift, and a putrid 2-point day from Kenny Walker. Lion Rip got a whopping 20 points from Ramondre Stevenson, who had his best fantasy day of 2023, but just got 4 from Cooper Kupp, 2 from Zach Moss, and 3 from Seattle's defense. So heading into the Monday night affair, Allen's team was up by 33 points, and Aaron's team still had Zach Wilson because of Trevor Lawrence, who was on a bye. You might be saying, well, 33 points isn't that bad or that much from a quarterback, but have you seen that Jets quarterback play? He has had just one game over 33 all season long. Wilson had 29 points heading into the final drive of the game, and he managed to record 10 points on that final drive to give Lion Rip the 103-97 victory, which improves his record to 7-2 and drops Belt Sanders to 5-4. And then on the other game, this one was a little less scoring from the previous matchup. Both of these teams with injuries and buys up the wazoo. No Amon-Ra St. Brown, no Calvin Ridley, no Jahmyr Gibbs, no Jared Goff or Kilgore. Eaton W's had no Matt Stafford, no Drake London, and no Damian Pierce. 2 of those due to, maybe all 3. Yeah, all 3 were due to injuries. The quarterbacks in this matchup were less than stellar. 30 from Will Levis for Trout and a mere 37 from Eaton W's. Recent pickup of Taylor Heineke. I didn't even realize he put him in until I looked today. Kilgore got solid performances from Jake Ferguson, who had his best day at 17 points, and Jahan Dotson, who has put up back-to-back solid weeks of double figures, but he got a goose egg from Keontae Ingram. Yeah, he's that Cardinals running back if you've never heard of Ingram before. Kind of like that Demario Davis guy from the Patriots, right, Todd?
Absolutely.
Just kidding. A lot of below average outings from Kevin's team, but every one of them mattered. His squad was down 41 points heading into the Monday night game with Garrett Wilson, Joshua Kelly, and the Chargers defense. Felt like it was going to be kind of a long night for Kevin until the Chargers defense got an early touchdown to get things going. The defense would hold the Jets to 6 points and sack Zach Wilson 8 times, score an amazing 31. Garrett Wilson chipped in 9 while Kelly mustered up 2 points. Heading into the final drive with Wilson at QB, you figure there was a good chance that if he could get a touchdown and score against that Chargers defense, it would put Kevin in another loss. It was 101-101 with Wilson driving, racking up those completions for Lion Rip. Wilson gets in the red zone, and instead he was trying. So Wilson, evading the pass rush, gets to the sideline, runs out of bounds to stop the clock, but apparently he ran out of bounds before the line of scrimmage, thus giving the Chargers a sack and giving Eaton W's the 102-101 leads. But Wilson still had a chance for Wilson to find the back of the end zone at the Chargers 6-yard line. He completes the pass, but it's short of the goal line, and Eaton W's hangs on for his second win of the season. He's now 2-6-1. Trout falls to 5-4. A lot of craziness on that last drive, which ended up getting wins for Lion Rip and Eaton W's. Do you want to talk? I didn't get to do this because I went through this so quickly. But Todd, do you want to talk about your big time victory, the Giant Slayer?
Yeah, obviously I thought I was going to be the doe of the week because 20 points from Schultz and 23 from Dell and 17 from Deontay Johnson. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be doe of the week. It is what it is. That's the way fantasy football works. But 43 from Baker, no interceptions was great. And Aaron Jones, just give the ball to Aaron Jones, good things happen, and so forth. But and needing 11 points from my tight end, finally doing what I asked him to do. So it's great. So and then 16 points from Baltimore's defense. So I was a little nervous going in because not having Purdy and McCaffrey, knowing every every week now is, I need to win. I need to win because, at this point now, any loss is just it's my odds of getting the playoffs are not going to be great. And got another win. So we'll see. We'll see what next week rolls with, because just looking at, I know this doesn't matter by any means, but all of my players play at 11 o'clock. So however it plays out, I gotta be up by like 100 and some points because I won't have anybody in the afternoon games. So this is why this week was very important too, to win with not having my two best players that have been carrying me all through this all season long, in Purdy and McCaffrey. So obviously, again, going into that Sunday night game, with Davis and Chase, I'm like, oh well, this is where it ends. This is where my season ends. I mean, Chase and Davis wouldn't even have to put up 20 plus points to beat me. But hey, a goose egg and only 6 points. Hey, I'll take it.
Hey, the Fonz, cool customer over here.
Yeah.
Nice job, Todd.
Thank you.
Mikey, what do you want to say about your matchup, if anything?
I mean, I thought, honestly, I wasn't confident going into the Monday night game. That matchup was bad, and I knew it. That was all about game script and whether or not the Chargers were going to have to throw. That game as a whole was just garbage. Like, it almost unwatchable. It was so bad. Ugh.
Yeah, unwatchable.
Anyway, it was gross. Like, Zach Wilson's terrible, but got Aaron the win. Herbert didn't really have to do anything. So, yeah.
Yep.
That old Jets
60 points 1 week, but yeah, game script did not help you whatsoever. And how about Aaron coming up with? He's just been on the. I don't want to say. I mean, there's been some luck, but man, he has come out on top in some interesting situations. I feel like every week, and to rely on Zach Wilson to bring you back and win you a game, and he gets it. Sometimes the magic is there, and sometimes magic can win you a championship. So beware, and that's who I have to play this week. What's going to happen for me against me this week? I can only imagine. I've mentioned what I had to say about my win. To my notes, obviously, CJ Stroud was ridiculous. But my full team came through. I'm happy about that. I didn't see much in the dough department at all. I think the only thing that maybe you can look at is Trout could have played Wan'Dale Robinson over Nakua or Tyler Lockett, but who would have really done that, I guess?
Yeah,
is that enough for the dough of the week, Mikey?
No, I don't think so. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, so I don't think I'm going to give it to him, but everything else, like even despite some of the close matchups, there wasn't much there. I mean, can we still give it to Todd for the things he didn't do?
No,
I'm kidding, Todd.
I know.
Todd beat the top team, so yeah.
Yeah. He for as much crap as we gave him yesterday or Sunday, and I'm sure Todd was working. We were just giving him these texts. And he came out on top. All right, well, let's talk about the stars of the week.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
We'll start with Mikey this week. Who stood out to you?
I'm going to give mine to Taysom Hill, and this is one that's making me nervous because it's him being good is affecting Kamara, and I don't like it.
You pretty much said that the whole game yesterday or on Sunday.
Yeah, 22 points. I mean, the big thing is that when they get inside the 5, I mean, they're going Taysom Hill every time, and it's obviously good for you, but really bad for me. But he gets my first star with 22 big points for you.
Yeah, he was a guy I picked up 2 weeks ago because I didn't know. Well, after I made that trade with Todd, when I sent Dalton Schultz to him, I was like, I need a backup tight end because Waller's always hurt. Or, I mean, the offense continues to struggle. And we've seen this in the past where Taysom Hill put a couple good weeks together. And I'm like, nah, this is fleeting. But there's not much out there in the tight end department. So I went and picked him up because he had a 10-pointer and a 13-pointer. and he had some okay matchups coming up. And then, yeah, I mean, both you and I saw it. When they get inside the 5, he caught one, and he's also like taking the snap and trying to run it in, or he'll throw it in, which I think, honestly, watching enough Derek Carr in my life to see him screw up inside the red zone, give it to Taysom Hill, and even if he hands it over to Kamara, but yeah, that it's been working out. And with 1 week, I've played him 1 week, and he was the best tight end of the week. So I'm happy that worked out for me. Needed him in a big way. Todd, give me a star from week 9.
All right, I'm just gonna pat myself on the back for this one.
Of course you are.
I know, and I'm just gonna say, I mean, Aaron Jones, he's back, y'all. He's back. That is the Aaron Jones.
Didn't we say that, Mikey? as soon as he hit double figures. Yep.
Well, no, I said as soon as he scored the touchdown, the first one, I was like, oh, that's Todd's top star. No matter what, it doesn't matter if somebody had 50. Aaron Jones is top star.
Yep. Aaron Jones is back, y'all. Aaron Jones is back. Just give him the ball, and good things happen.
Back.
So
he's back. Okay, when they don't play the Rams. And he had a fumble. Get out of here with that.
Oh, he had a fumble too. I didn't really catch that.
Fumble. Yes, he did. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he says rush for 20 yards, 20 times, 73 yards, touchdown, but lost a fumble.
Yeah, still.
He could add more points.
Still scored the touchdown, so it didn't
matter. Oh man, I love it.
So, what are you trying to say? I mean, O.J. Simpson killed a couple people, but because he was a Hall of Fame NFL player, don't matter?
What?
We're talking about a fumble and O.J. Whoa, okay, all
right. Oh, buddy. Okay, let's keep this train rolling. Yeah. One of my stars of the week, Ramondre Stevenson, had, as I mentioned, his best performance of the season, 20 points, 87 rush yards, 4 receptions. He hadn't had a run over 15 yards this season, but we all saw, or most of us saw, that he has 64-yarder against those Commanders. It seems like he's like an all or nothing type of guy where, he's not the most efficient running back. He's not going to put up 4.5, 5 yards a carry, but he's athletic enough where he could take a pass and take it a long way. And so that's good for Aaron, who came out with the win and needed every single point. Ramondre Stevenson did pretty well. It was big time for him. Mikey, another stud.
I'm going to give it to the Chargers defense. 31 points for Kevin, and I'm sure he didn't know that, or he was nervous probably that he was going to end up in another tie, not end up winning, because that's the way it was looking like, or he would lose because the Jets scored a garbage touchdown at the end of that game. They end up getting a 8th sack on a run that ends up being like a yard short of the line of scrimmage that goes out of bounds on the second to last play of the game, which is just nuts.
Really nuts.
Ends up
I
winning
didn't realize
by 1
that
point.
could be considered a sack.
Yeah, it is.
I had no clue. Like, usually, I figured if you get pushed out, maybe, but no, I don't think anybody pushed him out, right?
Nope,
he just ran out on his own, if I remember correctly.
He ran out on his own. As long as it's if it was a design run, it'd be different. But because he went back to pass and ran out, it counts.
Wow, lucky break for Kevin. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a tie too. I didn't think Wilson was going to find the back of the end zone at all. But look at Kay picking up win number 2. All right, Todd, another big-time performance from last weekend.
Well, I'm going to go with Dak Prescott. 62 points. I mean, first of all, obviously he had 60 points the week before. That was against the Rams, and now getting 62 points, against Philadelphia, who obviously looks like the best team, one of the best teams in football. Dak was. We talk about this every season with Dak. Is there's the good and the bad, and when it's bad, it's real bad. But the good, three or more touchdowns. For him. Now, obviously, this coming week, the Cowboys play the Giants. So, gotta hope maybe I get the bad Dak Prescott, because he could easily maybe put up a 80, just for grins. So hopefully that's not the case. But for this week, good on Dak Prescott.
Always finding that CD Lamb. It's 2 weeks in a row that CD Lamb's put over 18 or more points. So get it, CD Lamb. Prescott's going to do well. Sounds like an easy recipe for me. I had Waller, Stevenson. Oh, not Waller. I'm sorry, Taysom Hill. Do we have to give? I mean, I almost feel like we have to give CJ Stroud a nod, and maybe already done this in the opening. You know what? I'll go to Gus. I'm going to go to Gus the Bus Edwards, who had another multi-touchdown day. The last 3 weeks for Gus Edwards: 17, 28, 17, and I think that was against you, right, Miguel? Where like it was just like a couple of because you were against Mark Andrews too. It was just like anytime the Ravens were in the red zone, you're like, oh boy, what's going to happen here?
Yep.
And we saw J.K. Dobbins go out early, and a lot of folks didn't know if it was going to be Justice Hill coming in. And then you talk about the other guy, Mitchell. Is that his name? Is that the other running back who had 100 yards and a touchdown?
Mitchell.
Like he's going to be a big free agent pickup, I would assume, this week. But Gus Edwards continues to do well inside the 5-yard line and racking up points. Anybody else we want to mention before we move on to the duds? Nope.
No, all right. I think we're good.
All right, let's go to those paltry so-called football players.
This is the worst. You are the worst. I hate looking at your face. I want to smash it.
Todd, whose face do you want to smash from week 9?
Man, feels so bad, but don't. Man, Gabe Davis. Woo! Big goose egg. Big goose egg. That goose egg. That's one ugly egg, I'll tell you that. No points at all.
One ugly egg. All right.
That's bad. Like not even get one, especially in that offense. Whew. Not even one. Nothing. Not a zip. Ooh. That egg got over easy. Ooh, got burnt. Got burnt.
He's had a weird season.
Yes, he has.
And I think I have him in this other league than I do with Mikey, and I can never pick the right week. Because I also have like Adam Thielen in that league, and I always go back between those two.
Oh, he had
it's 3. Gabe Davis 3, 16, 8, 12, 17, 2, 1, then a big 19 last week, and then 0. Weird season for Gabe Davis, to say the least. Definitely hurt Cooper's Cousins in a big way. Mikey, who stunk it up last week?
I'm going to go with the 3-way weaponry of the Seattle Seahawks because these 3 dudes all cost their teams in kind of close games. Kenneth Walker, 2 points, probably his lowest total of the season in a game that Allen lost by 6 points. That really hurt. Tyler Lockett, 4 points in a game that Kilgore Trout lost by 1. And then even though Gonzo Cats lost by 13, like DK Metcalf only 3, like that whole team was just awful this week.
Yeah, and thank God I didn't start Geno Smith, or he would have also been on that list. But yeah, I had all 3 of those guys. For DK Metcalf, kind of a disappointing season compared to where some of us thought he might be. Hasn't had a double-digit effort in 6 weeks. And then, of course, Tyler Lockett, you mentioned with the 4 points. Kenny Walker, 16 rush yards on 9 carries. Now that a lot had to do with the game script, having to play from behind the entire game. So Zach Charbonnet got a lot of run, having to play from behind and catching passes. And you mentioned it. I mean, Kenny Walker reached double figures in his first 6 games, and then to have that bad week, I think it's just a bad week, and the script didn't play well for him. So definitely tough outing for anybody who had any Seahawks for sure. Don't want to pile on Cooper's Cousins, but Jamar Chase, who I know he was playing injured, but he played 90% of the snaps in just 6 points in a game where Burrow threw quite a bit. And for him not to catch that many passes, and if you're hurt, you got to come off, right? I get it. Let Tyler Boyd get out there, but you get the 0 from Gabe, and then maybe Jamar Chase comes in, and who's had some big weeks, of course. He's had double figures, and was it 5 straight games for him? That is tough.
Well,
that's something I'd be disappointed in. What's that, Todd?
There was a couple opportunities in that game where potentially could have been some touchdowns for Jamar Chase, but Buffalo's defense just shut it down. I think there was a deep shot to Jamar Chase that was close to the goal line that that Burrow threw, but it got broken up. So that I was kind of holding my breath on that one. I was like, oh well, there it is. He catches this one, runs in for a touchdown. There goes my season. So fantasy football gods kind of helped me out on that one a little bit.
Well, I wouldn't say they shut down the Bengals. Maybe they shut down Chase. I mean, Burrow still had 31 completions, 348 yards, and 2 TDs. I wouldn't call that good defense.
Well, I guess just like
they held Chase down, if anything,
because it was a lot of Higgins, it was a lot of Boyd, and obviously the tight end. So
yeah, for sure. Any other duds that you want to talk about, Todd?
Bijan Robinson, only 5 points for him against Minnesota. He's been kind of consistent all season long. 18, 16, 10, 10, 12, and only 5. So, obviously Minnesota's defense is a little bit better, but they held him in check. They held him in check pretty good.
How about you, Mikey? Who else stood out?
Well, and not that it was a bad game per se, but given how good he's been all year, Tyreek Hill, I mean, this has got to be one of probably his worst game of the season. He was, under 10 points, this week. Had a big fumble, which hurt. It just didn't help Allen in a close game. Playing against, his former team even too. You would have figured he would have been up for it, but
revenge game.
Yeah, didn't work out.
No, yeah, and he the second worst outing. He had a 6-pointer against Buffalo, but 33. He had a 22, a 23, a 20, a 21, a 19. Yeah, 9's not the worst, but when you need your first round pick to step up, that was a tough one. And the only other one that I had, and wasn't totally his fault, was Herbert with 22 points, just because you needed him in a big way. But and you even mentioned it, like after the Chargers defense got that touchdown defensively, you're like, yeah, he's probably not going to have to throw that much. And with you and Keenan Allen, and to have to stack that together to try to put up, I think it was 60 points or whatever. Yeah, that was a tough one. But even if he had 30 points or 40 points, it still would have been tough for you, I believe. So, all right. Well, continuing on here. Let's take a look at the Week 10 schedule. The 5-2-2 Cooper's Cousins squad looking to get back on track against the 5-4 Belt Sanders, so that should be a good one. The league's hottest team, the Lemonheads, will take their 3-game winning streak over to the league's top team in 7-2 Lion Rip. I feel like, Mike, you asked me this, like, how do you do against Lion or against Aaron? And I think it's been okay the last couple of years. I have to go back and check, but there was a time where I hadn't beaten him in like 5 or 6 years. So definitely makes me nervous to play him, especially with the string of luck he has had. Hopefully he puts up Zach Wilson again this week. That'd be great. But I'm sure he has Lawrence back. The Hot Tamales take their 5-4 record up against the defending champs. The Gonzo Cats, who need a win in the worst way. The Butterfingers will look to make it 3 in a row, going toe-to-toe against the 6-3 Chad Powers fan club. Can he continue to beat the league's top teams? Notorious CUP at 5-4 will take on 2 6-1 Eaton W's, and the 3-6 NWA looking to avoid that 5-game losing streak against 5-4 Kilgore Trout. The bye weeks from Week 10, the Chiefs, the Rams, the Dolphins, and the Eagles. Some big time offenses there. No Mahomes, no Kelsey, no Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua, no Tua, no Waddle, no Tyreek Hill, no Raheem Mostert, no Jalen Hurts, no DeAndre Swift, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith. So a lot of offenses not up here in Week 10. So, so that's where we are. Anything else you want to say before we get out of here? Week 9 in the books.
Got to keep it going.
Week 10.
Got to keep it going.
Yep. things are tightening up, man. It's
It is, isn't it?
yeah, you got a hole between, you know, 3rd place and 8th place. It's a separation of 2 games, so
Yep, evening out. Aaron, one of the lower point scorers of the year. He's 7-2. Love it. Fantasy football, man, can be such a pain in the butt. I do have some homework for you guys for next week's show.
All right.
And we may, and since I have volleyball playoffs next Tuesday, we'll have to do the show next Wednesday night. But little homework. So instead of stars and kind of duds next week, I want you guys to bring me your top 5 most disappointing players and in your top 5 most surprising players. And we're going to talk about them. I think it's interesting to go back. Like, I wanted to kind of dive into Tyler Lockett a little bit more. I mean, we've always kind of seen his good years and bad years. This is a bad year for him. But yeah, I'm kind of interested to go through that. So that's, instead of studs and duds, your top 5 most disappointing players and your top 5 most surprising players. Can you do that for me?
Absolutely.
Yes, teacher. Yes, Professor Lansing.
does that mean that since he scored a touchdown, Aaron Jones doesn't make that list?
Oh, he absolutely makes that list. Number 1.
Yeah, that's right.
In the eyes of Todd, it's not Aaron Jones' fault. It's the coaching staff's fault. They're the most disappointing.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And Laura is an idiot.
Exactly right. All right, gentlemen. Well, thanks for coming on here Tuesday night, talking some Week 9. CJ Stroud, 81 points, and the defending champs lose. It's so crazy to think, but that's what happens. That's fantasy football in a nutshell. For Mike Huberno, Todd Diamond, I'm Eric Lansing. We'll see you in Week 10.